Alright, you girls buckled in. We're about to take off.
Oh, Gianni!
Raj Princess was the theme of the show this year. It was based really on beautiful Indian women, and I mean, I think there's Raj Princesses all over India. I remember seeing a really beautiful book called The Jewels of the Maharaja, and it was, you know, about all the fantastic jewellery that, that the Maharajas had accumulated in their time, and there were always pictures of their wives wearing these like amazing saris, and I mean, they were like fully jewelled, and they had like amazing kind of like patterns on them. They were draped, and because every year I'd choose a theme, I just thought that Raj Princess had such a strong design element in it, and so that's the theme that I chose for this year. Design-wise this year I had to be very conscious of what aspects of Raj Princesses, you know, I had to keep flowing through the whole show. So there was a lot of draping, and there was, you know, there were beautiful, intricate panels of beading, and we used a lot of soft feathers like, you know, Maharajas had in their turbans and stuff, and there were jewelled things that were kind of, you know, that glimmered, and so I kept the shapes very current, as in like evening dress shapes that women would wear, but always liked to put in, you know, some kind of drape or a ruche, or, you know, used a lot of vintage saris and cut them up and, you know, made them into modern evening shapes. Every photo I've seen of an Indian woman, there was a beautiful spread in French Vogue or Italian Vogue, and it was called Bombay Ladies, and it focused on about 12 really prominent Indian women, actresses, politicians, just wealthy social women. And in every shot, they all had beautiful hands, you know, like perfectly manicured, and they all had long nails and, you know, big jewels, and, you know, but their hands were so beautiful. We kind of did a section of like brides, but not standard traditional brides, and I wanted them to look like evening gowns but in white, so that and they still had that Indian feel to them.
Bang, bang.
Been preparing the show for about 3 weeks, putting the collection together for about 2.5 months. It is pretty much streetwear, yeah, and I guess we are looking at, as the label evolves into being a more mature look, and but still not taking away from the fact it's casual wear. It's like meant to be worn however the fuck you want to wear it. My inspiration is always drawn through just my mates in the entertainment industry and, you know, music or just whatever it comes up with. Like, I mean, we'll just say something off the cuff and do it, you know, it's not too, you know, we don't sort of focus too much on what we're actually going to do, we just let it roll. I just like the illustration that we came up with. You know, we've toyed around with a few different things and we just sort of randomly selected, you know, things that appealed to us really. We've got embroideries and prints, and with that we've got like you know, guitar strings that looks like straw, but it's actually guitar strings that we scanned onto the artwork, and then the ants was just, you know, I guess just playing on some, like we got covered recently and I was live that I've got ants in my pants because I can't stand still, this, that and the other. And
the inspiration came from talking to Leona 3 weeks prior to her show, getting a feel of her clothing, some philosophy about the direction she wants to go into, an understanding of texture, material, and putting it all together, then coming up with a look. I felt a character coming about, a young female, English, quite well off girl with nice clothing, loving to dress up and have fun. She's a bit girly, having a pretty big night out. The show was a classic French roll, very deconstructed.
Very easy. You've got an easy one. It might be just give her a shoe. And it's kind of just asymmetrical too. And that one's Jeez, where's that close?
The inspiration, okay, it's all about underwear and linings. If you look in most suits, they've got linings and everything we put on as underwear. So it's not meant to be anything other than that. So the inspiration is underwear and lining. All the things that you don't see, I wanted to show off. Aggravation and pressure. I work extremely well with those things, and without them, I don't know, I'm the sort of type, if I was sitting on a desert island putting together a collection, I don't think I could do it. The colours of the world. Blue, green, sand, just all the colours that nature has to offer. There's greens in there. There's not too many, as you can see. Actually, there's no chemical colours in there. So it's very, I hate the word earthy, but very honest, you know? It's all the stuff we see. Comfort is, well, again, in Australia, in summer, full stop, obviously it's a spring-summer collection. And for me, you know, I'm a bit partial to a little bit of linen, but really it's all about cotton and just stuff that you can pick up off the floor and put on when it comes to menswear. And when it comes to women's, do a little bit of glamorous sort of fabrics just because it's nice to dress up. So I think it's the last possibly 15 years of stuff that's making me evolve into this.
fashion assassin. That was a big job. We had nearly 8 or 9 different looks, different inspirations. We had all of them in tribe groups. So Alex Zabotto Bentley, the crazy bastard that he is, very talented, came up with the concept of the tribes, and I tried to understand where he was coming from. The inspiration was very ethnic and it gave me a lot of freedom to express myself and to develop. And again, it was 3 to 4 weeks before the show. And yeah, there was a few surprises on the night with a few models that I wasn't anticipating, but you know, that's fashion shows for you.
I had this sort of Art Nouveau, you know, sort of feel, or this imagery of a sort of Art Nouveau swirls and lots of fabric and, you know, flowing and, you know, lots of detail and, but, you know, all quite sort of round and rather than sharp and architectural. That was kind of, I mean, that was the beginnings of of influence, and and then I've adapted that to a very pigs in space looking collection. It's a lot more solid this season, and I guess a lot darker, and I guess that's influenced by Melbourne, spending a lot of time in Melbourne. They like to wear a lot of dark colours, and I guess because it's just generally a lot cooler there. We had a casting and I wanted to go for fresh looking girls that kind of, you know, they're pigs in space looking girls. You know, they're a little quirky, they're a little sexy, they're generally quite young. I mean, there's so many beautiful girls out, you know, beautiful girls that come to cast. It was a really nice collection to do. It was very small, it was easy. And it kind of just fell together, you know.
This collection is called Place in the Sun, and we were inspired by sunshine and open spaces and heat and light, the type of light that occurs in countries that have that type of climate. We're really thinking about the life that you lead when you live in a hot country. No particular hot country, but just living in the heat. And so we've tried to make the collection representative of that kind of lifestyle. It is about Australia, but it's also about the feeling that you get anywhere in the world when there's a lot of sunshine in your life and a lot of a lot of warmth and freedom, the freedom that comes with that kind of climate. Well, the colours are quite strong and vibrant, and again they're very positive colours. They're tertiary colours, so they're muted. While they're still strong, they're quite muted colours. And it was great to work with them. They were a big departure for us. We haven't had a lot of strong colour in the collection before, even though previous collections have been very graphic. We've stuck to quite a neutral palette with maybe a hint of red. And this is the first time in many years that we've really used colour to a large extent, and this is the most colour that we've ever used, and also the most graphic kind of patterns. Fashion changes and people change, and the political climate at the moment is very difficult, and so we wanted something that was up and happy. But it was an instinctive choice rather than a conscious choice to do the colour. We just both felt that we needed to do it. We both felt very strongly, and at the beginning we were quite frightened of doing it because it's not something that we're well known for. And then as the collection progressed, we felt more and more positive about it, and it really ended up being the statement of the collection in many ways.